How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Kind of want to make this series of how to basically bomb-proof your 6.5. I can start out this series by doing a how to keep your 6.5 cool, and the reason why I make this video is because last weekend I replaced my thermostats. Some of you know we went up to North Carolina from Tennessee 2 weekends ago, and I noticed before we left my truck wasn't running right where I wanted it to be. Typically it runs right around 180, but it's giving me the idea of, I know some of you guys' trucks are running a little harder than that, which it's okay, but you want to try and keep these things cool as much as possible. So we'll go over some of the things we can do to keep these things running as long as possible. So, thermostats, to start off with, super cheap as compared to some of the other things that you'll buy for these trucks to keep them cool. I'd first like to note that, yes, it says 220 right in the middle of your thermostat gauge or your temperature gauge on your dash. 210 is too hot, in my opinion, in the opinion of some other 6.5 diesel owners and some 6.2 owners. 210 is too hot. You can keep these things running a lot cooler than that. Replacing the thermostats, definitely. SS Diesel has 180 degree thermostats. Notice significant difference in replacing the thermostats. I have a bunch of other cooling modifications I did with this truck and will continue to do with this truck, but thermostats is one of the first things. If you want these trucks to stay cool, this would be the first thing to do. Also, if you just bought one of these things, think of the last time somebody really gave the cooling system a good flush. What I mean by that is, if nothing has ever gone wrong with the cooling system and you never had to drop all the coolant out of it and replace it, consider a coolant flush. That coolant has been in there forever, or God knows how long it's been in there. Consider doing a coolant flush. Cascade a garden hose, just let it run with it and clean all the debris and shit out of your block, everything like that. Giving this thing the best opportunity to stay cool. While you're doing your thermostats, you might want to think about a high volume water pump. I have a high output water pump, and when you upgrade the water pump, it comes with a threaded end instead of the bolt-on end for a severe duty fan clutch and a Duramax fan blades. Some of you know that the metal factory fan blades are kind of crap. That's why they updated the system. With the plastic Duramax fan, you get more fan blades. More fan blades equals more cooling, more air moving over to the engine itself. So you want to look into a high output water pump, a severe duty fan clutch, and a Duramax engine fan. I do have that. There's the water pump. There's that severe duty fan clutch with the nut on it that spins on instead of having those 4 bolts mounting the fan clutch to the water pump, and the plastic Duramax fan with more fan blades than factory. You'd replace the water pump. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You gotta take the front timing cover off, but definitely doable. Another thing to help keep these things running cool is regular maintenance. When was the last time your air filter was changed? When was the last time you did a service on it. I change my oil every 3,000 miles. I use full synthetic, and some of you may not know that this engine has what are called piston squirters. Basically, it directs engine oil towards the bottom of the piston, and that helps keep it cool. Now, under 20 pounds of 20 psi of oil pressure, those piston squirters do not function properly. So not functioning properly can lead to cracked pistons, definitely some heating issues, and other things like that. So do your regular maintenance. The factory air filters are okay. Definitely, everybody, you can use them. But if you have the factory filter, don't take that top plastic piece off. You're letting every bit of engine heat go directly over the air filter, and with that turbo right there, right hot next to the air filter, it's just sucking in all that heat. So I have an SMB intake that eventually I'll be getting rid of, because I'm going to be changing the whole intake system on this truck when I do the turbo and a few other things. But make sure your air filter is getting plenty good amount of cold air. If you're looking to stay with stock turbo, SMB, good choice. There's a bunch of other ones out there. It's basically pick your poison. As far as getting air into the truck, you want to keep it cold. This intake hat, it goes from a circular design, and it pinches down and then goes into the intake hat. Super restrictive. Consider replacing that intake hat. Quadstar Tuning has an update for it, and it's not restrictive, not nearly as restrictive as the factory one. Consider changing that. The more cold air you can get into the system, the cooler it's going to run. Also, if you're inhaling a good amount of air but not exhaling the same amount or more, it's not going to function properly either. So if you do your intake, got to do an exhaust. I have a 2.5-inch crossover pipe and a 3-inch down pipe off the turbo to a 4-inch straight pipe out the back to a 10-inch tip. Allow these motors to breathe. If you don't keep up on the maintenance with these things, you're setting it up for failure anyways. Also, with keeping it cool, don't put a bunch of shit in front of this coolant stack. Leroy Diesel sells relocation kits for your oil and transmission coolers. Don't pile on like a light bar inside here, or some extra LED lights. Don't do that. It looks cool, but you're really limiting how much air can flow through that air dam. Consider relocating some things, shit like that. Just giving these things the best opportunity to stay cool. Also, Quadstar Tuning, when you do your coolant flush, consider getting a coolant filter, an inline coolant filter. Quadstar Tuning sells them, and eBay sells them. Eventually I'm either going to cut my hose right here, put some clamps on it, so I have a coolant filter. These trucks did not come with a coolant filter. Also with cooling, some trucks were equipped with single thermostat housings. With that extra flow from the updated water pump, consider getting a dual thermostat housing and, of course, the 180 degree thermostats. You can still get a 180 degree thermostat or the single thermostat housings, but the more flow you can have, the better it's going to keep these things cool. So the absolute most expensive thing I can think of to increase the cooling capacity of these trucks. Mishimoto and a couple other companies sell these. It is a all aluminum radiator. Now this part is super pricey, especially if you're working on a budget. They're about $450 to $500 for an all aluminum radiator. Not everybody has that kind of money, which is the reason why I say don't replace it unless you absolutely have to. When this radiator goes, or if I find the extra cash, I will eventually update it to that. But the old steel radiators with the plastic doesn't dissipate as much heat as the aluminum one would. So the more you can get that hot air and hotter temperatures off that radiator is really going to make the difference on keeping these things cool. I imagine that's the majority of what, keeping these things nice and cool is gonna run. I run 70 miles up and down the highway each day, about 45-minute drive back and forth to work. I stay right at 180 degrees. In the mornings when I leave, sometimes cooler, and it's all I have is the water pump, the Duramax fan blade, the fan clutch, and the 180 degree thermostats, and that keeps it super cool. Truck's happy. Truck's, it's just keeping it maintained. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't feel obligated, but if you would, please hit that like button. Let me know in the comments if you can think of anything else to keep these things cool and you would like to share this with somebody. Please leave it in the comments below. Some of you look at the comments. I love all you guys' comments. I love that you guys are staying interactive with this. Let me know that I'm doing a good job, but I will see you guys in the next one. Be sure to check out the next video because I'm going to record it right after this. Stuff about IDI Legends. Super big news. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.